Alright. Hey, welcome back. Glad to have you. My name's Luke. And this is Texas Modern Fine Arts. I was on the internet and saw this really lovely picture. See if I can get a good angle on it. Ooh, look at that. It's super bright. Maybe I'll try this camera. There you go. I just thought that was a neat looking one. Boy, I tell you what, showing that phone screen makes it look super bright. But I like the lighting effect on that, and I thought it was really neat. And it's kind of a simple palette, so palette of colors anyways. So I thought I might give that one a try. Alright, so I'm gonna load my brush up with a bunch of white right here. And I'm thinking, let's start right here. I'm just lay down some white right here. I actually left my white in my classroom recently, so this is actually going to be gesso I'm using today, but around these parts, whatever you got, that'll work. Go for it. I'm just going to come in here and lay down some base color. And you want to brighten up for your lighting effects. You're going to pick one spot and work your way out. Back into my white. Touch that same spot. Work our way out. I hear my cat going nuts in there. Let's go ahead and turn that off. And it's off. Should have thought about that beforehand. Oh well. No worries. And I'm just trying to get a real soft, kind of bright color. And I just get the feel for what's going on there. Load up white, start right here, and just gradually blend that color out. Alright. I got a little rag here in my lap so I can clean my brush out better. Putting that white, starting at the center spot, and just work my way out. It looks like there's some dark cloudy things happening off in the distance. So I got this little chunk of scrap wood right here. We're just going to mix ourselves up a nice muted yellow color. And all I'm doing right here is just blending it out. You know, just experiment a little bit, trying to get a little grayish color going, just to add some variety to it. Let's get a lot more white in there. We'll brighten that up some. There we go. Yeah. Just play around till you get the color you want. Oh, white. Ooh, that's looking good. I'm gonna come over here. This is our bright spot, so I'm gonna start off in the corner right here. I'll just gently come in. Add some of these darker areas to it. Kind of make sure I don't run too close into that wonderful bright spot. I'm gonna clean my brush out a little bit so that it blends with that color that's already on there. Every time I want to brighten it up a bit, just go in, clean my brush off a little bit, get that excess color off of it. There we go. Squeezing that water out of it. Try to get it about as clean as I can manage. Just come right back into that middle spot where those two colors are coming together. And just blend them out a bit. And you run into the event where, you know, you just don't like where it's going. Get yourself a bunch of gesso, go over it and try it again. It's a good thing about painting. Once it's dry, you can pretty much start over and give another shot. Sometimes art's about bravery and having the guts to make those mistakes and keep pushing ahead. And just soften it up. Oops, look at that. Didn't want that. There we go. We're just gonna blend it. Let's pick up another brush. Get this big old 2-inch brush right here. I'm just gonna lightly blend them back. All I'm trying to do is just to clean my brush out as I go along. This one's shedding hairs like a dog in summer. I'm just trying to lightly blend it back. Clean my brush out. I should be cleaning it a little bit better, but it'll be fine. Alright, let's pick some more of that color from earlier. We'll just work it back and forth until we get the way we want it. And I'm trying to be real gentle with this. Soften up that blending, them dark areas in the corner. And I'm just working from them colors I made just a little while ago. Starting that corner. And I push in towards that bright spot. And as I get closer to that center, just try to lighten up that pressure on your brush a bit. There we go. That's looking good. Boy, it's getting proper moody now. Alright. Get some more of that white. Got that yellow too. Get a little bit more white. There we go. Come in here. Let's do it right here. I'm gonna say we got a little water feature that's going down here. I'm just gonna put it right here. I'm gonna say that's my water feature right there. Boy, that light is so bright. Yeah. Maybe if I put something in front of it, they'll make it a little bit better. There we go, a little ad hoc design. You can see the colors a little bit better now. I like that. Alright. I'll just go ahead and softly blend that excess color through there a bit. You know what? That worked kind of well. Soften that light up some. Let's do this. I'm going to put another one up. Look at me. I'm learning along with everyone else. There we go. You're still watching, so hopefully that looks better. I'm gonna come around and see. Oh yeah, you can definitely see those colors better now. There we go. When I said moody sky, I wanted to make sure it got translated well into the camera. Ooh yeah. And see how I kept that bright spot, just keeping that little white section in there, blending out. Oh, it's just proper glowing right there now. Just work your way out. You ever find that you go the wrong direction? It gets too dark in there, let it dry a bit, go back at it later, do it again. Alright, so got all sorts of varieties of colors in here. I'm going to pick up this color right here. I'm going to say right here. Start adding some little land features in there. Just jumps right up in front of that sun. Pull a little bit more of that same color. All I did was use a tiny touch of black, yellow, and white. At this point, I haven't hardly even used anything else. Just enough to kind of give the impression that there's a little bit of dark value to it. Yeah, there we go. And all I'm doing right here is just giving a little bit of tap and softly going across it a bit. Yeah, like it goes all the way down through here. Well, there was some darker color hiding in that brush right there, huh? And I'm doing this little part of the land right here, just going side to side. That's all I'm doing. Pick up some more of that color right there. I don't know what you'd call it. Just a dark, muted kind of color. Now you want your colors in your background to be a little bit on the soft side. Oh, my little source image went away. Come back. I don't know why, but I can only keep this thing open for 10 minutes at a time. I've tried to tell it to keep it open forever, but it don't listen to me. And so we got this little water feature, and I left that yellow there because specifically I wanted that, you know, little sunrise, sunset feature to have that water. Ooh, there's a hair in my canvas. Yeah, got it. I wanted that sunrise, you know, color to kind of be in my water section. Let's pick up some more of that. Just tap it on in this side over here. Let's flip a little bit more up. So here's my colors right here. A little bit of yellow. Throw it down there. Just a tiny touch of black. Black's a very strong color, and you can really overpower the painting really quick if you go too hard into it. Just that tiny little touch. We're right back at it. A little tap. Maybe just little grassy, bushy features off here. The further back you go with these landscapes, you want it to be really soft. The further things go in the background, the softer, the more muted those colors get. The closer you get, the darker, more vibrant they get. There we go. Look at that. That's glowing like a son of a gun right now. Alright. Right up here in the foreground, let's get a little bit more black. We're pushing into that foreground area, so I'm just doing black and yellow. Mixing them until I get it kind of the way I want it. I'll load my brush up real nice with it. And I'm just going back and forth on this color, just trying to load those bristles up. Maybe right through here. That's where the other part of the land goes. And I'm just blocking in colors right now. I'm not trying to worry about the details yet. We'll figure those out in a second. Since this is the foreground, that's the spot that's closest to you. I want to make sure that you got those nice darks, and that'll make it seem like this part is closer to you. Just want texture. Then, so this part's closer to you than all this back here. It's darker. You can see them shadows and whatnot. It's so much easier. Ooh, yeah, that's looking good. All right. So, I need to add some brightness to this water. Get some of those fun little reflections in your water. I got my little bucket of water right next to me. Speaking of which, to clean my brush off. All right, good deal. Okay, so let's get my little fan brush going. I'm gonna get myself a good old chunk of white right there. Let's do it right here. Spread out a little bit. Some of that yellow too. Need a little bit more white so it looks nice and bright. There we go. I'm just trying to whip up a nice bright white and yellow for this color right here. I'm gonna start coming in. I'm gonna see how that shoreline goes. Just like that. Do a little bit more of that white. Right there. Here goes that shoreline. Get some straight white right there. And I said I'm using gesso because I forgot my paint in my classroom, so I'm just gonna kind of blend that bright white color in there. My light source is coming from this spot right here, so I probably want that spot to be just a little bit brighter, just a little bit. Alright, there we go. And I'll just keep working that back and forth until it gets brighter and brighter. Alright, ooh, looks good. Okay, brush. Let's see, I don't use my palette knives nearly enough. I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna scrape off some of it. Just load up my palette knife some. Come over here. Just try to find that edge up a little bit. Just add some little shoreline highlights. Just leaving it straight up like that. Just back and forth. Just let that crispy white hit that edge of your land. And we're going right on top of the land because these little dark areas are going to add, you can see right there, add some of that reflection of what's in front of it. Okay, so let's go in. I'm going to grab another one of my fan brushes. Which one do you want to do it? Oh, this one looks like he's ready to go. There we go. I'm going to grab a slightly smaller fan brush. Load up some of this good dark color I used earlier. I mean, at this point, we've only used 3 different colors. Isn't that neat? And you could just see all this variety that's starting to come out. Alright, so let's say right here. And I'm just going to go side to side. If you move up at an angle too much, you'll find that your water doesn't look like it's sitting still correctly. You don't want that. There we go. Maybe it gets a little bit darker at these corner areas. I'm going to go with that flow of the land. This land, maybe it goes a little bit like that. Real gentle. The more gentle you do these little motions, the calmer your water is going to be. There we go. A little bit right here. And I'm just loading up that brush, going back in, touching up another little area. This part's closer to us. Maybe we want that a little bit darker too. Okay, it's looking good. Let's clean the brush out nice and good. And it's always good to have a little rag or whatever handy so that you can see that you actually cleaned it out well enough. Let's go right back into that white and yellow color. Well, see, still a little bit of mud in there. Let's just use it. Let's just use it. There we go. We really want to bring out that bright spot in here, so I'm gonna make sure we just leave some of that nice and white. Guess we can clean this out better now. Okay, here we go. Alright, got some of that. Oh, a lot of white. You know, just a little bit of yellow. Let's brighten that up. Let's get a little bit more white. Now, like I said, I'm using gesso. Gesso is naturally going to be a lot more thinner than your standard acrylic paint, which is what I'm using, by the way. Probably should have said that a while ago. That's alright. Alright, I got that light spot right here. Same thing, side to side. And just brighten up this spot in the middle some. Make this river look like it's glowing with that sunset. Alright, looking good. Now it looks like we got a bunch of tall grass in this foreground. So I'm going to get some of that black and yellow again together. And see, as that yellow starts to mix with that black, it almost takes on a greenish property. Maybe You get little planty things that live through here. There we go, and I'm just doing a straight up and down motion. And plants want to reach that sunlight. So in order to get it right, you want to make sure that they're going up and down, reaching up for that sun. Just load it up. There we go. Same thing over here. You know what? One of the cheapest brushes you can use. I swear, it is so good for this little old sponge brush. Touch that black. Put it back on there. Big old thing of yellow. There we go. Just load that old foam brush up. Looks like about a little 2-inch foam brush. You just come in here. Straight up and down. Take some more of that up. Same thing. I'm just striking it up and down. One motion. Look at that. Oh man, you can just see them plants starting to come out. I want to get darker as I get closer and layer some little texture guys right here. Oh yeah, that's good. That looks like a good fishing hole if you ask me. I'm not a fisherman unless it has to do with magnets. I like magnet fishing, but regular fishing, I just hadn't had a whole lot of opportunities in life to do it, so I don't know much about it. But I like a good spot where you could fish. I love me some beautiful water features in nature. Alright. I'm going to say just straight up and down. Look at this. We got our proper little seam with some plants going in here. Maybe we'll just leave some of this darker at the corners. Alright. Here comes the hard part. You know what? Don't do that, Luke. I had this temptation to throw some really darks in that foreground, but I think I'm going to leave it. Now, I don't have a whole lot of experience painting people, but I've been trying a little bit, so we'll give it a shot. My phone went dark again. Wake up! Perfect. Alright, there we go. We got ourselves a little cowboy. Who sent me this? Let's look it up real quick. I didn't say who sent it. No one sent it to me. I asked if I could do a painting of it. And oh, jeez. It's die_my_balls. Well, it is what it is. Maybe that's a family name. Okie dokie. So we got this cowboy. This is from the Red Dead Redemption subreddit. So if you haven't played that game, it's all about cowboys and rustling cattle and robbing trains, my kind of stuff. Alright, so we're just going to start putting some legs in there. So there we go. I'm just trying to get the general shape of this guy. It's Arthur Morgan. Mostly black because he's going to be the main feature, so we want him to be nice and prominent. I'm just trying to get that general shape of a person right now. Like I said, I'm not worried about the details too much. He's got some broad shoulders. Go ahead and, you know what? I think his shoulders come right about up to the sun because his head is right up in the middle of this glowing area. You got one little arm out to the side. Let's see. His other one's real close to his body, so we might not have to worry about it all that much. We're just going to make his legs disappear into that grassy area. his jacket. I keep picking up some of this white from the highlights I put on that water, so I have to clean off my brush to make sure I don't, do that basically. Just that black, just a little tiny bit of that yellow. Go back in, cover that up. Yeah, I'm just gonna come in here until I kind of get the feel of it, just to make sure I got it. Clean my brush out some. It's getting awful dirty now. Let's push up into it just a little bit. All right. So his head's like, right there. Little brim of his hat. He got his little jacket poking out right here. See, I'm picking up them colors from the water underneath, which is kind of a good thing because I want him to have that glow. And look at that, he's got his old rifle right here. So I'm just going in there and just tap it in. I want that to be a little bit on the thinner side. I'm just going to lightly tap that edge. And to get your brush nice and flat, just rotate it back and forth just a little bit. This right here. Keep your hand straight. And I'll get you this nice little edge if you ever need to do like straight lines and stuff. Alright, and let's see. He got his other arm. He goes right through here. His hand. Okay. Now actually, let's black that in, and I'll go back over in a second with that brighter yellow color. He's starting to get there. I see him already. Okay, let me clean my brush out. Pick up some of this right here. Well, that's already starting to dry. How about that? We'll grab some of this right here. This bright yellow. Really load my brush up with it. I'm gonna come in. I'm gonna add some highlight. This is where that sun comes in. You know what? That's not nearly bright enough. Let's put some white. Get some yellow. Let's flatten that brush out. Pick up your paint one direction, flip it over, go again. Get that nice. Put it on him. There you go. Get that nice edge. He's got light just shining through here just a little bit. There we go. Looking good. All the way down into there. There we go. That looks good. He's starting to come along now. I'm going to try to make that thinner, so I'm going to pick some of this wet paint that's on there still. Just narrow it up a bit. Oh yeah. You know what? Let's pick up some of this yellow and white again. Big old glob of white. I'll mix it right here. Get another big old glob. I want this to be nice and bright. I'm gonna come in here and see if I can add some shape to his leg. I'm gonna flatten my brush out. Like I said, pick your paint up one way, flip your brush over, pick it up the other way. I'm just gonna lightly keep working this character until I got him just the way I want it. Let's see, his jacket goes right there. Just using some of this lighter color to apply some highlights on. Okay. Let's see, let's get some of this white. Like I said, that gesso I have is very thin, so it's pretty forgiving. You won't overpower this that quickly. Let's see. Looks like he's got a little bit of an impression of a gun on him, so I'm going to come over here and pick up some of this dark black yellow color. Maybe add his little sidearm right there. You know what? There's a lot more space in between that leg. I'm gonna get some of that white and come in here and tap that in. Let's see if I just clean my brush out. Now I picked some of that paint up. You got your brush nice and clean. Sometimes you just come in there and pick it right up. You can also just scratch it off if you need. Oh yeah, it's starting to get there. I'm gonna say nothing too big. Just using that little tiny edge on the back of my paintbrush just to kind of come here and add some little shape. And as you pick some of that paint up, you'll actually add this little bit of a glowing feature to the edge of them. You know, there you see a little bit of his belt through there. And he's picking up some of that backlighting. I say it's your paint, so make sure that you just work it until you got the way you want it. Alright. Pick up some of that nice yellow again. Come back in here. Just tap it in. Just add some shape. Well, that's looking pretty good so far. I'm starting to feel pretty good about this. Alright, so let's get some of that side to side back in there. I can go in there and fix this in a second. Just to add some of that, like I said, flow of the land kind of shape. And so this is a nice light color, so I can come back if I want. Load my brush up with the darker color. Put it right back on there. Alright, so let's see if we can capture some of these wonderful rays that are coming off. Got my brush thinned out. Get a touch of water on there. Let's go back through here, just one motion. Ooh, that's muddy. My brush is not clean enough. Let's pick up a whole new brush. See how I fix that so quick. No big deal. That was a happy accident if there ever was one. Alright, you're too dirty. Try this flat brush right here. A little bit of that white gesso. Some of this yellow right here. I want to be a little bit more white than yellow. So we get that real big glow. And see how I'm moving further out from that one spot. Oh, I just got that brush dirty. Here I am, trying to make things harder on myself. Big old chunk of white. Let's go this direction. Just want a touch of it. Just playing around that outskirts of that yellow. I don't want that yellow to be too golden because we want it to make a nice little glowy color. Okay. Alright, so just like that. Paint's very thinned out. One direction. And look at that glow just happen. Just that easy. And this is very thinned out. Oops. Smooth that out. Just really thinned out gesso. Man, oh man, we got a nice glow going there. Okay. Oop, just dropped my other powder on the ground. Let's get a little bit of this yellow. I'm just going to add some variety of shapes. So there's the darkest and the brightest through here. Maybe we'll just add some little shapes down here. Just to show the viewer some extra little plants in there. So that's really bright. So maybe I'll come in there. I accidentally came over and did too much on my darks. I killed my darks. I don't want to do that. I need your low lights. Get some of that black. There we go. Put some of them low lights in there. You never know. There might be a rabbit that hops out of there and he needs this little spot to hide. A little bit of black on there. Just blend it straight up into my yellow that I had earlier. We want it to be mostly on the dark side, but we want that yellow to inform it a little bit. We don't want it to be super dark. Just go in there, here and there, and then low lights back. Pick up some more of that yellow. Maybe some of that white I used before. Here's some, ooh, look at that. Little flowers there. Why the heck not? Alright, I'm gonna get this little tiny brush. I like those flowers. They're not really in the picture, but I'm gonna add them anyways. Just come in there and find a little few spots that are brighter for them flowers to be. I'm a sucker for some pretty flowers, so you might as well throw them in there. Just getting this nice bright colors. Just a little tap. That's all you need to do. Nothing too much. You just want to get the indication that they're there. More of this. Pick up a little bit of that yellow. There we go. Just tap some of those in. Ooh, man, that's just glowing away. Alright. Kind of losing some of my darks. Just tap some of those back in there. Just a little bit. I'm just barely touching that canvas. Alright. Just adding some variety of that shapes of them plant life creatures that are in here. You know, maybe it's some wild sage or something, I don't know. Alright, let's soften this up just a little bit. Okay, well I think that's starting to look pretty good to me. Maybe we'll come back in with that little end of my brush, not that one. Hey, we'll just use this palette knife. Come back in. Nice scratching. A few little sticks and whatnot. Alright, well that's looking good. Oop, I dropped it. Alright, let's go ahead and sign this thing. Little liner brush ready to go. Well, I hope you enjoyed this painting, and if you feel so inclined, you should pick up a brush, give it a shot. Alright. Put the year on there too. 2, 3. Alright, well, again, my name's Luke. This has been Texas Modern Fine Art. You got any suggestions or things you'd like to see? Drop me a line, leave me a comment, and maybe I'll try that one next. Until next time, that's it. Get that paintbrush going. Give this one a shot.